Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? Y'all already know how I feel about this book, The American Queen. We have the one and only award-winning author, Vanessa Miller, guys. She is hanging out with us at the cafe, and we talking all things The American Queen. Oh, my goodness. Vanessa, welcome back to the cafe. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation and talking to us about your amazing book. Oh my goodness. As you can see, I can't stop smiling. This is literally one of those books. And guys, I'm gonna let Vanessa introduce herself, but I just gotta talk a little bit about this book. Again, this is one of those books that, let me just tell y'all, okay, this is me. Okay, this is me. It's worth every bit of the hype. I mean, from when Vanessa did the cover reveal to it being named one of the 15 books to read in 2024 by Good Morning America, and them doing that quote that says, this is a book that needs a story that needs to be read, told and retold. And I love the fact that they said this is a powerful story that needs to be told and retold.
Yes.
So as y'all can see, I'm super duper excited about this one. And of course, guys, before we get started, you already know what I'm going to say. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we are hanging out with Vanessa Miller and we're talking all things The American Queen. Vanessa, sorry for that long introduction. I just had to do it, girl. I had to do it for the Queen.
Yes.
Introduce yourself to the people, my friend.
Well, I'm Vanessa, as you said, and I'm a writer. I've been writing since I was a kid, but my first book came out in 2003, and this is my first historical and about a real person. Queen Luella lived. She existed. She walked on this earth, and she was queen. She was the only queen to ever rule on American soil. And so this story just excites me. I am just so happy and so thrilled. I've been talking to everybody I can about it, and I'm happy to be here tonight.
I love it. I love it. And Vanessa, I know for those who have read it, there may be some individuals out there, you're just starting to read it, all of that good stuff as well. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We have a Caitlin hanging out with us today. Hey, Caitlin, thank you for joining us here at the cafe. Mama Tony of Mama Tony's Book Nook. I know Mama Tony know about The American Queen. Thank you for joining us on tonight. We have Veronica Lockett hanging out with us. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Vanessa, there is so much, and I don't want to do a lot of spoilers, but guys, y'all know I'm gonna try to get a little tea for you. Okay, I'm gonna try to get a little tea. But one of the things that I'm so proud of, Vanessa, and you already know a portion of it, outside of this being an amazing story, guys, it is in a hardcover. Oh my goodness. And for some people that may be like a small thing, but when I saw first of all, y'all already know I was gonna get my copy, and I'll let y'all know. I have it in all three formats. I have it in hardcover, I have it in ebook on my Kindle, and I was blessed through NetGala and I received the audiobook. Okay, y'all, I had to have a conversation with Vanessa. I was like, Vanessa, this audiobook is amazing. So guys, if you've read it and then listen to the audio, oh my goodness. So that's a little bit of tea I'm spilling. Okay, so whatever suits your fancy. Okay, ebook, print, audio, you can get The American Queen. And oh my goodness, Vanessa, I'm gonna let you speak on that a little bit because you see, I just got excited about all that.
Right, and it's available in paperback. So
available in paperback.
In bookstores, you're going to find the paperback. So don't go in the bookstores and get mad because they don't have the hardcover. Most of your bookstores will have the paperback, but I know some people have been ordering the hardcover from the bookstores, and so I just got a call from Park Rose. They need me to come in and sign a hardcover because so I went in and I signed all the paperbacks, and then somebody ordered a hardcover and they had to order it for them. And so I have to go in and sign that. And then Riches and Reading, they just sent me a hardcover. Someone ordered it, and so I'm signing it for them. and sending it back so that they can have their hardcover. And I didn't even look to see who it was that ordered it. I just received this, so I got to send that back out. And so people are ordering that hardcover. I'm like, the paperback is available too.
So guys, there you have it. If you get it in print, you have an option, paperback or hardcover. Of course, you got it in ebook and you have it in audio. And Vanessa, before we get into things about the book or what have you, what is that feeling like for you to have this book available in all of those formats and to see the outpour of people wanting that hardcover as well? What is that like for Vanessa Miller?
It was just, I don't even know how to put it in words, because for one thing, I didn't think everybody was, not everybody, but I didn't think a lot of people were going to go and try to get the hardcover because, the paperback is cheaper. But what I think is because this beautiful cover and the beautiful story about, about a queen who once ruled on American soil, and it's a true story. I think people want this cover, and they want it in hardcover, and so whichever format they want it in, I've always been happy. Once I went with Thomas Nelson, all of my books are now in audiobook, and this one, I'm gonna tell you, she is so amazing. The narrator, she does such a great job. She pulls you into the story.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I've had people, they say, I've seen them like on TikTok or whatever. They're holding up the book. They say, I've got the book because it's a beautiful cover. They said, but I listened to it on audio.
Yes.
So they still want the book because of how pretty this cover.
It's gorgeous. And Vanessa, I'm glad that you're talking. I'm glad that you're talking about the cover, because can you share with us a little bit about what was it like when you got your final cover? Because of course, you went through, they sent you some things, you had feedback or what have you. But when they sent you this final cover of the American Queen, what was that like for Vanessa Miller? What can you share that feeling with us?
I sat at my computer and I stared at it for
the
longest, because I knew when I looked at that cover, I knew that we had a winner. I knew that when people walked into a store, when they see it online, wherever they saw this cover at, it was going to be an attention getter. Because it draws, just as the narrator draws you in, that cover draws you in, and it drew me in. And I was in love. I was like, okay, yes, let's do it. That cover is everything. And
I love it. I love it. And Vanessa Mara said, yes, they want both because they want to keep the hardcover on their shelves. I love that. I love it. It's like a collection item as well. Well, Vanessa, let's get into it with the people. I know they are ready to hear about the American Queen. And we talked a little bit about this gorgeous cover, but can you share with the people on tonight, Vanessa, the title, The American Queen? Was this your original working title, or this title came to you over after finishing the book? Share about the title with us.
I had no original working title. I turned in the proposal and I just said the Kingdom of the Happy Land, because that was the name of their kingdom. It was called the Happy Land. And so I turned it in and I was like, this is the story. But I had no idea what to call this story. And I'm at my computer working on the book one day, and I see this ding, and I go over, and my editor emails me and she says, Vanessa, we just had a meeting, a title meeting. And she says, what do you think about the American Queen? And I was blown away. I mean,
Vanessa,
it's such
I feel like we need to pull out our crowns. I just feel like we need to pull out our crowns. Wait a minute. Where is my crown?
You don't have to say anymore.
Okay, yes. I I mean, we gotta do Queen Luella justice.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, we can proceed.
Hold on, mine is not. I'm not. It's not coming on right there.
There you go. Look, Vanessa, now we can finish our interview.
Right. We needed our crowns.
We needed our crowns.
And so
I love that. And
I love that she has a crown of flowers, you know, because they were a working class people. They built this land, their homes, this community. They built it together, working together. And so when I saw the cover, the immediate thing for me was that she had flowers for her crown instead of a jeweled crown. And I thought that represented Queen Luella so well.
Yeah.
I was like, did the graphic artist person read the book? And so it was just wonderful to me. And I just saw Letha say something. Hey, Letha.
Yes. Letha says she loved this book. And I'm glad that Letha said that, because y'all, let me just tell you, and I will piggyback off of what Letha is saying. Yes, I still have a book hangover. I finished the book, a couple of weeks ago, and I am still in a book hangover. I was literally thinking about that today. I was like, wow, I still have a book hangover of The American Queen. It's really, I want everybody. I feel like I need to get the megaphone, and I want to tell everybody again, going back to what GMA said, a powerful story that needs to be told and retold. It's like, I want everybody to read this book. I have been at a couple of book signings. I've been out of places, and y'all, let me just tell you, and I'm not saying that just because Vanessa is on the show. Y'all, I went out of town recently. Everywhere I go, I am talking about the American Queen. I'm like, let me tell you about this story, the American Queen. And I go into this story. And one of the things that I share with Vanessa is that not only is this American history, but I feel like this is a Carolina history, North Carolina history. And I'm from the Carolinas. So I was even sharing that with Vanessa. I was like, wow, this is a rich story that I'm like, wow, I didn't know that, or what have you. And so speaking of that, Vanessa, I want you to share with us a little bit about what your experience was, because you actually had the opportunity to go to the Happy Land and stand on the ground of where Queen Luella ruled. What was that feeling like? Oh my goodness.
It was like nothing else on this earth, because I wrote the story and I knew Queen Luella just became so real to me. She was a person I wished I could have sat across from and talk with her to glean from her, but I had to just glean from the information I was finding out about. So when I'm walking on this land, I'm just looking around at the vastness of the land, and I'm looking at the trees, because there were still trees kind of far off. And I just thought about the fact that the part that I'm standing on is where they knocked all these trees down so that we could walk on level ground, and that they built homes here. The homes were gone now. But just the fact that I knew that homes had been there, they were here, they were there. There was a church over, I'm kind of imagining it was over here, and it was
right.
It was beautiful. It was just a beautiful experience.
Wow, I love that. And Myra said she can only imagine. And Vanessa, this is these next two comments I want to show you are very special. Tiffany Jones of Tiff's Happy Place said that she has family roots in North Carolina, so she felt close to the story. However, this is huge. She's not a historical reader, but she enjoyed it. And she said she was telling her coworkers about the American Queen as well. Tiffany, I love it. And Vanessa, I know that Tiffany enjoyed this story. Tiffany and I have had line conversations of good conversations about what we enjoyed about the
Yes.
American Queen. Mama Tony can probably jump in because all I'm gonna say is Robert. We were all feeling some type of way about Robert. Okay,
Yes.
we gonna leave Robert right there. But Vanessa, for those who may not have read the story yet, or they're getting ready to read the American Queen, or they may be new to your writing or what have you, I'm super duper proud of you because this is your first historical fiction. This is your historical fiction debut. But can you share with us what inspired the American Queen?
Well, I didn't know anything about the Kingdom of the Happy Land people, and it was Lisa Wingate who told me about them. And she had given me an endorsement on my book, Something Good. So I go back to say thank you. And I have been reading her book. It's about, what's the title? I have it right there. The Book of Lost Friends. I had lost it for a minute. I was reading her book, The Book of Lost Friends, and I told her how much I was enjoying it. And she said, a Facebook friend told me about that story because she writes, her books are based on true history. And she said, another Facebook friend told me about the Kingdom of the Happy Land people. She says, since you live in North Carolina, you might want to research that and write about it. So I went and researched it, and I couldn't believe when I saw this. And I was just like, oh, wait, no, hold on. This is not happening. So I had to go back to her. I said, now, are you serious? You gave me that information for me to write this story. And she says, yes, Vanessa, I think you're the perfect person to write this story. And I went running with it. I loved everything about this book. I loved Queen Luella. All the research that I was finding on her, said that, she was a very dominant figure in the Happy Land and in the building of the Happy Land. And so I wrote her in that manner. I'm like, me and Queen Luella like this.
I love that. I love that. And Vanessa, they are giving you love in the comment section. Pamela Nance Johnson said, hi, ladies, this book is so good. And Tiffany and Midnight, they're talking about when you said you got a chance to visit. Midnight says she would love to go and stand on that property. Yes. Tiffany is in her amen corner. She said, me too, as well. And I'm sure that was some experience for you.
I wish they would, allow people to do tours. I said, I wish they would allow people to do tours there. But they don't. I had to, when I was scheduled to go, because I wanted to go to the deeds office in Hendersonville because I knew that they had the deeds in that office. And the library has the only book that was ever written on the Kingdom of the Happy Land people. It was written in the 1950s. Wow. And her name was Sadie Patton Smathers. She was a historian, a local historian, and she interviewed descendants of the Kingdom of the Happy Land people. And after she interviewed all of the descendants, she wrote this book. It was a small, about 16 pages, but it was packed with information that I was able to use to write my story. And so I'm very thankful that she took the time to interview the descendants of the Happy Land people. So I wanted to see that book. I wanted to see the deeds. And I wanted to walk on the land. So I had all of that scheduled, but I wasn't getting callbacks. And the day before I was scheduled to go, they called me back and they finally said, okay, you can come on the property. I was like, thank you, Lord. That was my wow. My taking care of that for me.
Yes.
Because they had stopped really showing the land, because they said they used to let people on there, but then the people would just leave their trash. And so they said, wow. It's a shame that, people just mess things up for others. So.
Well, I'm glad that you got that opportunity, and an amazing opportunity that was to be able to do that. Now, Vanessa, you shared just a little bit. You started talking a little bit about your research. And let me just tell you, the research was amazing for this book. And it literally, it radiates off the pages. You can tell the depth that you went into in researching this story, and all of that good stuff. But tell us what that was like for Vanessa to research, and then bring this story, Queen Luella's story, to life.
Well, it took a lot because I was learning how to write historical fiction at the same time that I'm researching it. So I'm finding out all of this information, but I'm like, okay, now, but what am I supposed to put in the story? How am I supposed to do this story? And I just, began to research the time period because I needed to understand what was going on around that time. It was emancipation time. It was Reconstruction time period. What was going on? And so researching that helped me to write bits and pieces of the story, but also I had to research about the land, about the area that they moved to, and about them traveling, because they traveled from Mississippi through Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina to finally find their promised land. So there was a lot of nuggets that I was able to pick up. There were times when I thought the story is leading this way, but as I kept digging, then I would discover, oh no, this is what's going on. Because at one point I thought Luella didn't have any children until I kept research. I kept digging, and then I found the name of her 3 children, and I was like, wow. And so that was the enjoyable part to me about researching, because I realized you can't just stop at the first thing you find. You have to keep digging, especially if you're gonna bring a story that people really need to read, and you want to bring them information that really needs to be brought to light. You got to research. And so, but it's a lot of work. It really is.
Well, you did a great job, a fantastic job, I shall say, as well. Now, Vanessa, this book, for those who may not have read it, Vanessa breaks it down into like 5 parts. Like it starts in the emancipation. Well, the emancipation is just, they're just getting into the emancipation. All this stuff is going on. She starts there, and then she takes you all the way up until they get to the happy land. They've created their kingdom, all of this good stuff as well. But was there a reason that you broke the story down into those 5 parts like that, Vanessa?
Well, I originally had it broken down into, did I have 3 parts? And then my editor, there were like 2 editors on the book, because Laura had gone out on maternity leave, and so Becky picked it up at Thomas Nelson, and she was the one who suggested that she said, Vanessa, I really think it could go into 5 parts the way you have this. And so when we looked at it, and I said, you know what, that's right. So I don't remember, I may have already had it in 4. I either had it in 3 or 4. And and so then we went on and broke it out into 5 parts, because it just lend itself to that. And so it made sense to me. Editing is a good thing. so it made sense to me. And so I went on and broke it out into the 5 parts.
I love it. I love it. And Aletha said you did an awesome job writing this book, Vanessa. God bless
Thank
you.
you so much. And
well.
I appreciate that you read it. I really do. Y'all keep on reading this book. And after y'all read it, please, please, please write your review. If you don't like writing reviews, you can simply rate the book. Go on over to Amazon right now. If you're watching this, go on over there, like right now, and write your review or rate the book. it's a great thing to have those reviews and ratings on a book, especially a book such as this, because we want to convince as many people as possible to read The American Queen, and your reviews will help. So please, please, please.
I love it. Now, Vanessa, you know they on the edge of their seat. Okay, they want a little snippet. Okay, so if you could just share with us just a little bit, it could be a couple paragraphs, it could be up to a page. How much you want to give us? The people want to hear a little bit of the American Queen, so I'll let you kind of set the tone or what you're going to read, or let us know, and then you can share that with us, guys. If you have a question or a comment, be sure to put that in the comment section as well. Vanessa is going to grace us with just a little bit of the American
start
Queen.
with the very beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the most dramatic, but I mean, I'll just start with the very beginning because I didn't know I was gonna read something, so I don't have we'll just start at the beginning.
Okay.
With hands in the dust of the earth, Luella Bobo's lungs filled with the smothering air of bondage while she listened to her daddy wax eloquent about freedom. Now listen to me and listen good. Samuel Bobo stood a few feet away from the cotton field, addressing the enslaved men and women on the Montgomery plantation in Mississippi. Y'all heard what them Yankee soldiers said as well as I did. Samuel shook a fist. Freedom is coming, but we got to be ready. Luella's eyes lit up. She'd been on this plantation for all her 24 years, and the happiest day of her life was when those soldiers trotted on Massa Montgomery's property like they wasn't a bit worried about being shot dead for trespassing. But the news they brung was the same thing Reverend William been telling them for months. Enslaved people just too full of fright to fathom the notion that freedom was in reach, as close as their feet was to the ground. And so in American Queen, I start the book at emancipation because I didn't want to live in slavery. And so I started once they know that they are that they're free, but they're still trying to figure this freedom out, and they're still having difficulties with what this freedom means with getting off of this plantation. So and I will tell you, Angela Pean, Pean, the narrator, she narrates this book a lot better than me. So she has the emotion. She's just such a good narrator. So want to go listen to that.
Thank you for sharing that snippet with us, Vanessa. And Vanessa, I want to ask you this question because this is a book that is full of moments. Oh my goodness, it's full of moments. Guys, it is a book that's all the feels. I mean, you can feel what they're saying and the emotions and the things that they're going through as well. But for you, Vanessa, as a writer, what was that like? Because there was even some hard moments, I'm sure, for you as a writer to kind of envision these things that are happening to these people or what have you. Can you share a little bit with us what that experience was like for Vanessa to bring that, to bring that out?
And not just me as a writer, but me as a Black woman, to write about some of the hard moments. It was jarring because I had to put myself in that spot and kind of feel what it must have been like. And there were times when I had to just get up and walk away. But then there were also moments where, I mean, I laughed at certain parts that I was putting in the story. I smiled, especially at Luella and William, and as their love was beginning to grow with each other. I loved that part of it. And so I had to put in moments of joy because I knew that Luella had a hard life at times. And so I wanted people to understand that she also had joy.
And Myra said that at times she had to put the book down and think on what she read
Mhm.
as
Yeah, it's
well.
just that
Now, Vanessa,
powerful.
I'm not. Yes, it is. It is just that powerful. As you guys know, I told you I still have a book hangover. I'm still thinking about these characters or what have you. And speaking of the characters, Vanessa, I'm gonna like say just a couple of their names, and if you could
Mhm.
just tell us a little bit about them, you can
Okay,
you can sum it up in a couple of words or whatever first come to mind. And of
okay.
course, we'll leave Queen Luella to last because you know she is the queen of the Happy Land, guys. Oh my goodness. But first, if you could tell us a little bit about Mama Sue.
Mm, Mama Sue was the grandmother, and she was Luella loved her because she took care of her like a mother instead of a
Mhm.
grandmother, and so they had a
Mhm.
very close knit relationship. And Mama Sue, I've heard people tell me that they thought she was their favorite character, and it surprised me because Luella was my favorite, but I've heard people I've heard people say that just that they just enjoyed Mama Sue that much.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Look, and Mama Sue kept it real. We gonna say that.
Yes, yes, yeah, yes.
I love that. I love that. What can you tell us about Master Montgomery?
Well, he was the slave owner
Mhm.
of on the Montgomery plantation. He was also William Montgomery and Robert Montgomery's father. And
Mhm.
so well, you haven't asked about them yet. So that was who he was, and
Mhm.
he provided a great education for William and Robert. However,
Mhm.
the rest of the enslaved people on the plantation did not necessarily fare as well as they did.
Mhm. Look, and just give us a little bit because you know the people want to know because we don't tell. All we gonna say is Robert. That's all. Every time
Robert,
I say Robert, see, I have to say his name like that, Robert,
right.
and then I gotta
So
look down.
Robert,
That Robert.
you're right. So Robert was um I told you he was the son of the former slave owner, but Robert was so fair skinned he could pass as white. And so that is what he did during slavery times. He also owned seven slaves and he owned a farm, and he had
Mhm.
slaves on the farm. And I tried to explore a man like Robert and some of his weaknesses and some of his strengths. I tried to understand him because as I kept researching and finding out more and more information on him, and as people read the story, uh, you'll find that court case is very true in the story, and the other, I don't want to give away any information, and the things that you find out about him and his kids at the end is very true. And so it was it was just trying to understand a man like that. And so yeah.
Mhm. Wow, wow. And of course, you have to tell us a little bit about Reverend William.
I'm sure the readers could tell that
Look,
I just fell.
look, Vanessa, we can definitely say he loves some Luella.
He did. And I just loved his character. Even, you know, as I wrote him, I never had the opportunity to talk to him in person, but I felt him, and I just felt that his character would be he was just such a moral man, and he was such a good man. And I enjoyed writing him all up until a part that I cannot mention because I cannot give
Right.
away any spoilers in the book. But I loved him. But like I say, this was a true story. If there was
Mhm.
ever a part that I would want to rewrite, and I could use my fiction, I would have changed a part of his story because of just
I
how
love
much
that.
I just loved his character.
Yes. Guys, if you are just joining us, we are hanging out with award-winning author Vanessa Miller. Guys, her debut historical fiction, The American Queen. It is live and in color. We'll be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of this amazing, powerful story that, let me just tell you, you're going to want to tell a friend to tell a friend. You're going to want to buddy read. This story is just so good.
Yes.
And again, it's one of those stories that when you start reading it, it captures your attention and it holds it. I mean, it's a pretty thick book, but you do not want to stop until you finish it as well. And of course, there is a giveaway. I'll let Vanessa, I'm not sure what her giveaway is. I'll let her share with us what the giveaway is going to be. And then I will let her help me to tell, to pick the winner of her giveaway.
Oh, I do have something to give away.
Exciting.
Yes,
Okay.
I do have.
Vanessa, what you got for us today?
It is a tile. If you
Look
like.
at there. Oh my goodness.
Now you gotta go write. You gotta go write your review too, though.
I love it. So Vanessa, of course, my friend, if you can help me out, I'm going to go up and down the comments section and you're going to tell me when to stop. And that person will be the winner of that beautiful towel of the cover of The American Queen. All right, Vanessa, I am ready when you are, my friend.
Stop.
Okay. Letitia Ballard, you are the winner, my friend. If you will inbox me your information, we will get that over to Vanessa. You have won that beautiful towel. It's the cover of The American Queen. And thank you so much for joining us as well. And of course, Vanessa, please share with us, how can the people get their hands on a copy of The American Queen? And I do have a link for Riches in Reading, guys. That is one of the places that you can get a copy of The American Queen. So I'll be sure to put that in the comment section. But Vanessa, if you can share where else they can get a copy of The American Queen.
Wherever books are sold. I have been doing several book signings, book events, Barnes and Noble, go in, see if they have, some of them have signed copies because I've been there. Indie bookstores, Park Roads Books here in Charlotte. I'm going to be at Turning Page Bookshop in Goose Creek, South Carolina on Saturday. They have books anywhere, online, Amazon, Barnes and Noble online. Just go get your book. And if you go to an indie bookstore, if they don't have it, if they run out, ask them to order some more, or help with that indie bookstore and just order it right there from them and they'll get it to you. You can come back in and pick it up if you don't want to pay the shipping, or they'll ship it to you. So just support your indie stores whenever possible.
I love that. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for sharing that with me. And we'll be definitely putting that information in the comment section for you guys as well. And of course, Vanessa, it has been amazing hanging out with you and talking about The American Queen. Can you tell the people, Vanessa, how can they stay connected with you?
My website is just VanessaMiller.com. I am on Instagram at author Vanessa Miller. Please follow me there. I am on Facebook as Vanessa Miller Pierce. You can go over and you can follow me there, or at author Vanessa Miller on Facebook, one or the other. I am mostly on the Vanessa Miller Pierce page, though, and I have a readers group page on Facebook as well, which is just Vanessa Miller Readers. And so I'm going to be more active over there, like having discussions about The American Queen. So go on over there. Oh, and book clubs. There is a link on my website right now with the book club kit, and there's a link to request a book club discussion with me. Several book clubs are already signing up. And we've got bookstores that are doing book club discussions on the American Queen, and I'm zooming in for those. Groups are doing book discussions. So, you guys, like Angela said, read this with a friend or read it with your book club and invite me in. We can have a good discussion on Queen Luella.
I love that. I love that. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today at the cafe. I am definitely just excited. I was overjoyed that I actually get to talk with her on the show about the American Queen. And Vanessa, before we leave, I want to allow you to have the last words. And in you having the last words, can you also include what do you want readers to take away from this amazing story?
I want readers to dream again as they read about the American Queen. Luella was a visionary. She was a dreamer,
Mhm.
and she dreamed of this place, this happy land where her people could hold their heads up with dignity. And what is it that you dream about?
Mhm.
What is that thing that you believe that God has for you to do? As you go through the pages of American Queen and you see how these people were able to accomplish something like building their own kingdom, in a time that was during Reconstruction. What more what more myself? And so, we got to have that don't give up spirit. And so that's what I'm trying to keep myself as I just go along the way, and I continue to promote this book wherever I can. And so this weekend I will be in Charleston. If you live in Charleston or Goose Creek, South Carolina, come hang out with me. I'm going to be at Dart Public Library, John L. Dart Library in Charleston at 4 o'clock tomorrow, 4 to 5:30. So don't show up at 6. Show up between 4. So it starts at 4. And then I will be at Turning Page Bookshop at 2 p.m. on Saturday. That's in Goose Creek, South Carolina. Come on out. We're going to talk about Queen Luella.
I love that. And Vanessa, thank you so much. And guys, you can also go to Vanessa's website. You can follow her on social media, and she actually have like calendars where you can see where she's going to be. You can actually see where she's going to be in March. And I also know that she's working on her April schedule as well. So again, tell a friend to tell a friend about the American Queen. And of course, once you guys read it, definitely leave a review. I know that Vanessa will be so appreciative of that as well. That
Absolutely.
is our show on today. It's been amazing hanging out with Vanessa Miller talking about the American
American
Queen.
Queen.
Oh my goodness. Vanessa, I'm so proud of you. I just want to tell you that.
Thank
And
you.
I'm
Thank
so
you so
excited
much.
about this book. And again, as we said, guys, this is a book that we want everybody to read. So don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend. That is our show on today. And this is what we always say: have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you later. Get a copy of The American Queen. Talk to you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.